30 years.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Like these guys just love themselves because so full of personality and awesomeness. And you guys are early too.
We're
Early?
on time.
We're early.
Yeah.
Punctual.
On a Sunday?
On a Sunday.
He made us. He came and got us and was like, it's time to go. So you guys have really good people working on the content.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
more
right.
time. Yeah. It's early time.
Whose first Comic-Con revolution is this? Put your hands up.
Wow.
It's pretty good, man. I was like, wow, they advertised this year. So, no, they advertise every year. But, no, I've been here like 5 times. And yeah, I think you guys are multiple.
No,
No,
it's
it's
our
our
first time.
first.
So all your first?
Yeah.
No,
All right,
I've been here like 4 times.
Oh,
This is the very first one.
Nice.
and yeah, like each year it grows, but I always like seeing new people come here because like they run this one differently. They a lot of like just I don't. We go to a lot of cons, right? Some are like, all right, they're just trying to get everybody's money. You know, like, run like a business. Like this one's fun, man.
Yeah, that's
This
so
one's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mention the only reason I'm here. I was here 5 times in a row. One of the promoters, like our kids went to school together.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I've been joking around like right now the big topics like nepo babies and like I'm just
You're a nip.
pure nepotism in this town.
Hey,
Yeah.
whatever gets you there, right?
It worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out. So yeah, I guess we're ready to start. Early?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, if you're
I'm taking away these chairs at times, like that whole angle.
the angular, the feng shui.
It is a little, yeah, it's an optical illusion.
Yeah, but it's like everyone has an optimal view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty smart. Whoever
I've
did
never
it.
seen that in all my years.
Yeah, everybody's got a front view.
Amazing. Catherine, I'm glad you made it. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining the party.
Yes.
I know your flight was canceled, delayed.
Yes.
Flying sucks right now.
Yeah, there's always a problem. Always like the mechanical or, sorry, it's always like crew missing or.
You're good. You don't just need
It's been
teleportation.
a hard year.
Hard year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct privilege, as do you, a strong, iconic, amazing group in front of you, a rare opportunity. August 28, 1993 was a landmark day, which changed the face of entertainment history, in my opinion. That was the day that the pilot episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers aired. The pilot episode entitled "Day of the Dumpster." Is that correct?
That's right.
It's just on paper, kind of a weird title.
Yeah.
But it kicked off everything, and in my mind, as a pop culture fan, I put the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, as iconic as say Disney, Star Wars. It shaped a lot of lives and continues to do so. And I don't think it'll ever stop. And I'm pretty privileged to have cast members who shaped and formed that iconic series in front of me. So welcome to the Comic-Con Revolution. I have my friends to my right, Catherine Sutherland, Karan Ashley, Andrew Jones, Carla Perez, the icons of the Power Rangers. So I love this to be a fan-driven panel. So if you have a question, please just shoot up your hand. You're ready. I do have a couple questions. One, there's a big premiere for Once and Always, correct?
Yeah,
Did you host it?
I did, yeah. I hosted the premiere. It was like, we got lots of people here that I know, and it's 30 years. I mean, it's like 28 years since I've been back on the show, and the show's airing, and we had a big premiere. It was good.
Yeah, our big joke is you don't even look 30 years old. So, how that's possible?
I know. My friend, she keeps looking at me going, Illuminati.
No, I don't think so. I think salsa dancing keeps
It's
us
the
young.
salsa, yeah.
Yeah,
So keeps me
I'm
moving.
trying to learn from you. Yeah, but how was it being there? Like, you're standing on a carpet downtown LA.
Yeah, we had a black carpet. Hey. And it was very cool, man. Like just to be supported by so many people. Have some of the cast there. We weren't able to have everybody there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people showed out. We had like a lot of different celebrities, and it was really nice to feel so much love in LA where I've been for like the last 30 years.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
My other question is for each of you. If the time force were to kind of whisk you away from where you are now to about 30 some odd years ago, what would you tell your past younger self, starting out maybe on that first day, or maybe during the audition process, or when you started on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? What would you tell yourself if you were to be whisked back? Back when you guys started about 30 years ago. Any, is there,
Right?
yeah, or is there any advice to yourself, or is there any words that you would feel like everything's going to be pretty awesome from this point out?
I think I would have told myself, be prepared for ups and downs,
Ups and downs.
and save everything.
Right. Steal your costume.
Still your costume.
Steal your costume. No, I think I would have told myself to stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Because it happened so fast. Like, I mean, we worked nonstop. I mean, it was just, like, I told someone the other day, I was like, I felt like for almost like a year and a half, it was just, we didn't have a day off. We just like work. You go in, it's dark. You leave home, it's dark. So it was just nonstop.
Yeah.
And so then I wish I would have like taken it in a little more, because it just was moving so fast. So that's the only thing. I think everything happened the way it should have.
Yeah, I think I didn't believe that it would be, we'd be here this many years later. I think I would have been like you, like just take it all in and
Still your
remember
costume.
everything. There's things you guys ask us and I don't remember that episode, I don't remember what I said. So I wish I'd remembered everything so I
I don't
could
think
share
we
with
ever would have though, because we shot them all
Yeah.
out of sequence. Like,
Yeah.
so like if you were at the command center, you were shooting 4 different episodes. You shoot all 4 in the command center, so you're changing clothes and. So I think our brains, like, I don't know how all the episodes went because
We
it's
shot
like
according
it's
to
all
sets.
yeah, it's
Yes.
all mushed together.
Yes, it's true.
So yeah,
And the fact of the matter is, we didn't even get to see every episode that we were
Right.
in.
Yeah.
So
we're working, making
Yeah.
it work.
we had VHSs back then. So I lived in a house with like 5 other guys, and I would set up the VCS.
I'm
VCR with VHS. The VHS that we set it up to record the episode when it came on, and I'd get home and like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I'd be like, let me see what the episode that came on today, and somebody would take the football game over. So and I never saw it, so that happened a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really watch it. Yeah.
Carla, anything you would tell your past self?
Oh my goodness, I would tell, don't worry, in 30 years you'll be amazed where Power Ranger goes. No, I was just, I had no idea that it'd blow up to what it is now, so I would, maybe tell myself that and do something even more crazier than you're doing now, I guess. But, yeah, and also the same thing, take my time a little more and just enjoy what you're doing because it doesn't last that long. It's pretty quick.
Amazing. All right, who are the hand? Yeah, your question, sir.
I was wondering, between all 5 of you, like what we would decide, if you guys weren't in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, what other Ranger group would you want to be in?
I always say
Once in a
Time
While.
Force. Oh, Once in a While. Yeah, Once in a While was fun. No, Time Force. I really liked the storyline of Time Force.
You know what? I didn't watch our show, so I haven't watched their shows either. So, but I really like the Time Force people. I really like the, I don't know, they're all great. Like every cast we've met, they're just amazing. And it's weird because we have this weird like bond with each other, and I feel like if you wore spandex, then we're family. We're family, and you went through that the way we went through that, and like their experiences are very similar to ours, and they're about the same age we were when we were on the show, and so I would be, I kind of love what we did. We got the party started. We were part of the original series, and I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I love them, so I guess I'd hang out with some of my friends.
Yeah, I same thing with Karen's saying. I'm like, I didn't really watch more of the episodes, a lot of the seasons. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, I think Time Force is another one that I've seen more of, and I know that the writing was like probably better than most. So I would probably say that, but I gotta go with Mighty Morphin all day. You know, it's just that's where we started, that's what it is, and I gotta say that Power Rangers Once and Always. I mean, I'm really excited to be able to go back and you know, revise my character after 30 years. You know, so that itself has become something that's different from everything else. It stands out as its own thing. So I'm really proud to be back on that and being part of that and bring it to a new generation and feeding the generations that have come before. You know, so that's awesome.
I like Zack as the leader too.
Hey.
Strong leadership, strong leadership. Right over here, we'll go over here first. Did you have a question?
Yep, I just wanted to, I have a question, but I just wanted to tell you, recently I just watched the Power Rangers Once and Forever, and I'll say this right now, I am so proud to come back to the Power Rangers after so many years of having to, I've been doing a lot of panels. I even got to help Carla in the past, where she at one point was trying to get to the panels and she got lost, so I guided the way.
Thank you for that in real life. Superhero in real life, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna scratch
say that thank you so much for making Once and Always. If you ever did another anniversary special where you got the other Power Rangers, would you be up to do pretty much like Forever Red, like what you guys did with Once and Forever? Because the way that you connected, one thing to note was that the way that you had the Yellow Ranger's daughter basically pretty much talking to her no less, it really made me feel emotional because I love the fact that you, Walter E. Jones, got to actually be a really good father figure towards her, and
That's very cool.
I really would love to see you guys come back again because that was such an awesome special.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That was the love
A long time ago.
Yeah, for Tweet.
It was beyond time that we paid homage to Tweet. And then, also with the loss of Jason Frank, it was awesome that we were able to pass that part in too. And I know it made a lot of people sad, but at the same time, we are rejoicing the happiness of the years that we've had. You know what I mean? I think that's very important that we embrace the positivity that we've grown, that's grown in us and with us over the 30 years of the show because of all the people that were involved. So.
Yeah, it's about celebrating people's lives.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. You wanna, I think at the end of the day, you hope you leave a mark. And Jason did that. Tweety did that.
Absolutely.
Those characters did that. So it's time for us to celebrate their lives.
Yep.
We've cried and we've, we need to celebrate them. Every weekend. Every weekend, celebration.
Thank you. We'll go over here. Right there.
While dealing with the death of a Ranger isn't new to the series, it's never been done to this degree in Los Angeles. So what were your initial thoughts when reading the script on the series dealing with such kinds of themes like dealing with grief and wanting revenge?
I feel like you guys are 30 years older. So, with the death of Tweety, you guys are too young to deal with the death of a Ranger or death of the actor that portrayed the Ranger. But now, you guys are older, you got kids of your own, and I think there's a calling for Rangers to grow up with you. So I think I was okay with that idea that it was a little darker, there was a lot more jeopardy, because you guys are more ready for a deeper story, for something that actually tugs at the emotions, and I think it works. And I think you guys have been calling for it. You're like, we want Rangers to grow up with us, so here we go.
Yeah, I agree with Walter. I just think you guys watch Marvel movies. It's that stuff's edgy. People die on those movies, But I think it's important for kids to understand, life, that's life and adversity and loss. And if we're even a small part of helping them walk through grief in real life, that's amazing.
Yep.
So I'm glad they did that, and I'm glad they were able to really celebrate her. And like we said, we were all, thrown for a loop when the Jason news came down. So it was almost kind of therapeutic for us, to watch it. We got to watch it together, and we had a private screening and watched it together. And I don't know, it was very therapeutic to have that moment together. We didn't know what the ending was. We knew they were going to put a tribute,
Yeah.
but we didn't know what they were going to do. So when they did it, we were just as like taken by it.
Oh,
And
As
that
you guys
moment
were.
is
perfect.
crazy because I remember us
Yeah.
doing that for Jason when on the show when he was leaving as the Green Ranger. So it's like, you know, we sang the whole song. Kimberly and I think Kimberly and I had to record it because we're not singing it live. We recorded it and then they played it and we did it. And that moment was a cute moment, like back then, but for it to come back and
So
be replayed
Yeah.
for this actual moment is that was very endearing, I thought, and it's perfect for the fans and perfect for Rangers and the nostalgia of the last 30 years.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
that's true. That had so much meaning.
Yeah, it did.
Like, wow.
It did.
I didn't know it was on that episode.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I'd never
His last
seen that. I'd never seen that. So I was like,
His last
so deep.
episode is the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
I didn't even, yeah. See that like we didn't watch the show, so we didn't even know that. So
That's even
what a-
more. That's more.
more impactful, yeah. That's, and you hit that note, dude.
Yeah.
Get that harmony. Harmony in there.
Karen and I got to go into recording
Angel
together.
High.
Angel High. Something else.
We were hating life that
And the outfits.
day. They were, yeah, because they were like, they totally duped us. They were like, we got this like really like cool song. It's like hip hop kind of feel. We were like, oh, and we were like, that's not hip hop. Look at this folk song, you
We
guys.
wanted us to like dance. We were like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
We were like, no, we'll just. It was, we gotta watch this episode. It's hilarious. We had to go to the studio. We were so mad. Yeah, it was not a hip hop song.
We're laughing. You're laughing,
It's
guys.
not a hip hop song.
No, you back there, I got you next, right there.
This is mainly for Walter. Do you remember when you got the call for the audition? What went through your head and what you thought you were getting into?
You know, it was actually very different because the call was for a show that wasn't called Power Rangers. It was called, I forgot.
Phantom.
Phantoms, yeah. It was called Phantoms. So it was
I
like,
heard this story.
I just got a call from my agent who said, hey, we got a call for you to do to audition to be a superhero. And they need somebody that can do martial arts, that can dance, that can do gymnastics, and then an actor. I was like, well, that's me. They can play teenager. I was actually 26, so I was like, well, I can still play teenager because I look really young. So I went in and, well, actually I couldn't go at first because I was doing another show. But I read the script and I thought, this is exciting. Now, of course, in my mind, I have no idea about spandex. I have no idea about what a plenty is or these things. So it's just, in my mind, I see pictures of, you know, superheroes. I didn't know if they could fly. I didn't know what they could do. It was like, you know, fire and explosions. I saw none of that. You know, I knew nothing about the Japanese show. But then when we auditioned, you know, we sat down as a cast and we thought about, well, what is our relationship to each other? Why are we all friends? Like, what brought us together to become superheroes, and why are we friends at Angel Grove High? Because we're all very different. You're a martial artist, and you're like a dancer, and you're a gymnast, and you are a brilliant scientist, and you are, you know, like this, you know, heal the earth kind of person. And so, why do we all like each other? We sat down and we talked about it, and gave each other a backstory about, you know, how we met and our parents and what our parents were like, and you know how we got to know each other, who knew each other first, who came next, and the whole thing. And then when we went in and we auditioned, we really had this chemistry because we had decided who we were already. So our friendship was established, you know, like me and Kimberly and Austin, like me and Austin were definitely boys, you know, or Jason, we're definitely boys, and like, and then David, you know, David and Trini, they understood each other, and then Kimberly is obviously you know, she was like, hey, I'm Kimberly, she was Kimberly. And no, it was cool, it was interesting. I didn't know what to expect from the script. I didn't know what it was gonna look like. And then when we shot it, I remember the first day on the set when we were attacked by the putties, and I was like, what are those things? Like, what is that? We're walking through the desert, and they come out, and they're doing a thing. And they're not really making that sound, you know, when we're fighting them. They put that in ADR. So, you know, to look at it was like, this is weird. We got these weird creatures, and in the very beginning, the outfits were not very great. They were wearing like they were wearing wetsuits
Oh my God.
in the summer under the hot sun with these plastic masks on and painted gray and doing this weird movement like the sun coordinator's like, okay, so bend over and do this and like they don't look that intimidating. Kind of weird, it was that, but at the same time I'm thinking, why am I dancing? Hold up, okay, like we're in Jeopardy. Why is Zack dancing? I didn't figure out. Okay, I'm moving into it like Muhammad Ali. I'm like drawing them in. I'm like, you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know it's coming from here or foot or but it was very strange. Just the whole thing kind of became something. And if you saw the original pilot, it was weird. It was kind of weird. I showed it to my family, and they were like, okay. That's kind of weird. Like, they talk about Zack and, how he morphs to the mastodon. And my face went from to like a dinosaur, a mastodon, and I was like, that is weird. I thought it was strange. And I didn't know that it would become what it became, but after we did that pilot, and we got picked up for more episodes, so we redid the pilot. We got a new training, and then they thought it was too violent because we were fighting, and I guess in the pilot we kind of didn't wait for that long. It was like we were like, oh, you got a problem? Let's go. We kind of like pulleys in a way. So it was like they dialed that down, and then they said we did it again. Yeah, but we beat up Walker's Skull. But they redid it again, and this time we didn't touch anybody. So they would attack us, and we would just evade them, and they would fall into garbage or something silly. And that was like not violent enough. Then we found our happy medium, and we're like, okay, no head kicks, no face punches, but we can still defend ourselves, and it worked out. But yeah, I didn't know what it was going to become from the paper. But I'm so excited that it became what it became because here we are 30 years later.
Yeah.
Great question. You.
Okay, so you kind of touched on it, but from a costuming aspect, what was the most difficult thing you guys had to do?
From a costuming aspect?
Yeah, from like costume, like.
Go pee.
Yeah,
That was like, the zipper was all in the back.
Yeah. Nobody thought about that.
Yeah, it was like, okay.
So you had a bodysuit underneath, so it was like 2 layers.
It's not like you can just do it yourself. You're like, I need help. Can I go to the bathroom? 10-100.
Yeah, same thing with the movie suits. It was even worse because they were so heavy. Like they were like 25, 30 pounds. And then they were made out of vinyl. So like our skin couldn't breathe. And so we could only wear them. Like I remember Peta, who played Alpha 5 in the movie, she it was like her first day on set. She did a whole day, and then by that afternoon, her body went into shock, and she was in the hospital for 3 days. Yeah, because her body couldn't breathe, and it was that same vinyl. Yeah, and so then they were like, okay, they can't wear them. They can only wear them for 15 minutes, 20 minutes at a time, and they would have like fans, and like they literally hired like a whole staff of people because when we would do something, we'd be in about 15 minutes, and we'd come off. And we'd take them off, and someone would just have to hold them. Like, they were so heavy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, like, insane. But, I mean, they looked good.
Amazing.
But it was, like, the costumers did not think about the practicality of, like, us having to fight, us having to, like, have our bodies breathe. It was just crazy. So, yeah, the most of the time, the costumes were, like, torture devices. And, like, we come out, if we take the helmet off and we're all, like, pretty, that was not reality. Like, everybody would be sweating. Like, so it would be, like, make them picture perfect. And so we'd go, yes.
Did the helmets still come
My
off
hair
like that?
never-
Or they were still like,
Yeah, they were the same way. And we, like, my hair never fit in them, so it was always open about that much on the side. And I would be like, Aisha was
Talking
like,
weird,
she was like kind of sideways. See the
Like, I don't know what's going on.
Carla, what was your costuming process like? That was pretty
I
elaborate.
had to be at set at 5:30. I didn't get finished for costume till like 7:30. And that, no one realizes that the whole costume with all the accessories was straight from Super Sentai. And Machoka Soka was actually about like 5 foot tall, and like 5'6", 7". And all that stuff was hers, so it was really tiny and heavy, and the helmet was like metal with hard rubber. It was like, I always had a headache, so that line is true.
So I think it's a reality.
Yeah.
Not a reality.
And that staff was rubber, it was very heavy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the material that they use now for all the costumes, so like a light foam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say maybe about, with all the accessories, about 40 pounds. Pretty hard.
Wow. I never tried.
And I couldn't go to the toilet, because if
Yeah.
I did, I'd have to bring 2 people in, because I had a petticoat that she would, so I don't want to talk about it.
We got to know our workout people were like our friends. They
Yes,
girl, don't worry
you
about
had to
it.
get very close.
I'm like the doctor, and we're like, okay, we have to go. So they
Yeah,
saw
it was
everything
bad.
from
It was
us.
bad.
The wardrobe saw everything.
It was horrible.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Go over here, right here.
Okay, for Carla, it's for villains, and for you guys, it's heroes. So for Carla, which team of villains or which villains would you like to team up with? And for Rangers, which team of superheroes would you like to team up with other than DC and Ninja Turtles?
Marvel.
Yeah,
I want to be with Black Panther. I want to be with,
Yeah.
Wakanda
Yeah.
forever. I think we need to do that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say Aisha, when they said, where did she go in Africa? She went to Wakanda.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that would be great. I would also like to hang out with Wolverine. Just see his
Yeah. That'd be good. Carla?
I've always, when the first live action Beauty and the Beast came out, Maleficent came out, I loved what they did to her, so I'd like to probably be her.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
It's all about the headdresses, my friends.
Yeah, headdress,
And
yeah.
those cheekbones, my God,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were crazy.
You right here in the front.
Hello.
What are we talking?
Hey, just want to say thank you guys for everything that you've done within the past 30 years. You've inspired all of us. I have, I guess, 2 questions. One, Carla, did you work on the fan Power Rangers? The one that's like R-rated?
Oh, Avi Arad.
Yeah.
The one that apparently Avi Arad did where she actually got to do a fan movie where it was basically the same person who later worked on the Castlevania TV animated show.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but that was Shiki Levy.
Oh.
Not Shiki Levy. What am I talking about? That's Joseph Kahn. He did a fan film with. Well, it was basically in 2015, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
And how was that?
I didn't. Okay, for the record, I didn't know how nitty and gritty that film was going to be. What I didn't know was about the nudity. I didn't realize it, but.
I liked it. I thought it was edgy. I thought it was completely different than Power Rangers. It was like.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked because they just called me and they said, "Oh, we have a film we want to do. It's a fan film, and we want to bring Rita back." I go, "Oh." And first thing I asked is, "Have anything to do with Saban?" They go, "No, it has nothing to do with Saban." I'm like, "How are you able to do this?" "Well, it's a fan film." "Oh, okay, why not?" They explained it to me. I read the script and I said, "Wow, it looks pretty good." But so I was excited to do it. I just didn't realize that it was going to be like almost rated R.
We're all grown up. And then I guess for Walter, Karen, and Kat, you guys did the order, because it was around. I don't know if it ever, because I don't think it ever came out. But
No, it hasn't yet. No.
like, where is it? And
Yeah.
we're excited for it because we're older, and it looked just based on the trailer. You guys are going to put a lot of work into it with some stunt work and stunt choreography and even just the set.
We're actually shopping it as a television series. And so that's actually been going pretty well. But that's a hard process. And so to get she knows. I've told her many meetings. We've had a lot of meetings, and the funny thing is people love it, and they go, oh my God. But then they don't write a check. So it's like, so do you love it? but they don't tell us no either. It's definitely a weird place to be. But I actually have a meeting next week, which is crazy. But I'm just gonna keep pushing. Like I feel like that needs to see the light of day. I think that you guys, we could, but I wanna get it. You know, I would rather a studio give us money, and I'd rather it be, you know, that way. But what I'll say is I'm going to keep pushing. You know, we're going to keep, you know, I think that you guys would love to see us in a different light. And it's not Power Rangers. Like, the only thing that makes it Power Rangers is I thought it would be really cool for former Power Rangers to be these vigilante assassins, you know. But it is not Power. Like, people who I purposely was like, people who are really like fan favorites in Power Rangers, I wanted them to be bad guys because I was like, just to have that range as an actor and be able to do that, you know, and have a project like that where you're completely different from what people know you from, would be awesome. So I mean, we've got a really good pilot script. We have, she helped me. We did like a reading of it just because while we were like, it was funny during COVID. I said, if we want to make it a television series, we really got to dive in. We really got to write the script. So I kind of formed my own writer's room, and we just dug in and like really got into it and really flushed out these characters and gave them, I don't know, just many layers where they're very complicated people and they're not, you know, they could be cops, they could be FBI, but they're not. They're in this group. So why are they in this group? And why do they feel so compelled? So we really flushed out that reason, the stories as to how they ended up here. So we've got a really good pilot script. We've got a really good show Bible. We've got an amazing virtual presentation that I'm doing, and literally I've shown it to everyone I can possibly show it to. And everybody I meet that is anywhere, I'm like, look, help me get a meeting, look, because I'm telling you. And they are all blown away. Like, I've never seen the reaction. And then when they see us, they're like, oh shoot, like, oh my god, I look together. And it's so cool. So I think we just got to get it to the right people. Someone's going to see it, someone's going to get it, and they're going to say, let's do it. And I said, you know, we've been close on a couple things, but it just hasn't panned out. So just keep praying for us.
Let's go!
Yeah, clearly. I mean, I wasn't always was cool, but I think if we did something completely different, you guys would be like, oh my god, I need a shock. Because it's cool. It's really shocking, but very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you, great question. Anybody on this side? All right, let's go right there.
Hi.
I know it's been a while since we met in 2009 at Anime Expo.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Was that like your
First
first class? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I know. I remember seeing you out there, like you came in at an unannounced time with while you two were also on the panel, and I recall that the atmosphere in that auditorium room was like electric. Like, you just walked in like a boss, and like everyone was cheering.
He's a boss.
I still remember that moment like really well.
He's got that thing,
He knows how to
right?
make an
He knows how to make an entrance, this guy.
He does.
Hip hop keto.
Yes.
That being said, so my first question for you is, Carla, when you were working with Kat on season 3, well, I know you were also on season 2 because you were wearing a suit.
Right.
That being said, since Barbara Goodson is the one that did the voice, like, how exactly was that part like coordinated? Was like, were you guys like, doing it separately, performance like you were doing voice?
No, it's just a voiceover. Basically, I do everything. Just it's a whole role. I act it out, speak. I took everything, and then in ADR, I believe this, they just voice over, and then that's.
Carla
how it
did the
works.
voice like when we would act together.
Yeah.
She would do the voice of Rita.
Yeah.
Well, any character you do, you have to do it fully, completely. You can't
Yeah.
just have you have to do it all. So.
And what was like working with Carla though?
It was fun. Because when I first came on, I was obviously evil, so I didn't work with them. I actually worked with Second Unit a lot more than I worked with the Rangers at first. It was Carla and Ed who played. Ed was the guy who played Lord Zed, and he was just such a character.
I know, it's crazy.
They were really fun. And
Yeah.
the costume, the Second Unit stank though, I'll be honest. It just smelled like sweat. And
It was pretty gross. We had all the monsters with those really heavy rubber
because the
suits on.
suits were from the Sentai series,
Yeah,
so they
they
were old
funky.
and funky and smelly. And I always loved it with Ed with his finger. They were always taping the fingers of Lord Zed back together because they would like it would crack. Yeah, it was.
And when you took it off, all the
Sweat.
sweat just came
Sweat.
out.
That was bad. You know, it's hot in California. So imagine, like they were always outside, or even when you're in the studio, it's just like, you guys know, you'll be in your cosplay and it's like burning up. You're sweating in these places, so same thing. That's so cool.
Yeah, they were lovely to work
Another
with.
thing is that I had one for Walter. I know that, well, free range guys. First off, Walter, I wanted to say thank you for answering my question once on Instagram regarding the late Richard Janelle, who was Ernie. Now, that being said, what exactly were you guys' favorite memories like when you were working with him on set?
It was awesome.
Yeah, he was funny. You know, like
So
Richard
funny.
Janelle, he was like an old mafia. Like he was like, Walter, how you doing tonight? Hey, you doing it? Hey, how you doing? You know, he was like this guy, full of energy, like jovial and funny. I think he did stand-up comedy as well.
Yeah,
So he had jokes that were inappropriate.
Completely inappropriate.
Always, but he was a big-hearted guy. He owned a cabin up in Big Bear, and so he, he would always go, "Hey, you go up to my cabin. Here's the key. Go up." We'd go up and hang out and have a good time over his cabin. So, very kind person, big heart, and what a great character he was on the show.
I went to his wedding in Vegas. I'd only been in the country like a month or something.
Wow.
And it was literally like being at The Sopranos.
I love it! Where was I? Why did I know?
I was with Donna and I was annoyed because 21 is the legal drinking age and I'm Australian and it's 18 in Australia. So I was like,
Oh,
what do
you
you
can
mean
do
I can't go
anything.
into this casino?
Oh.
Right. And I was all annoyed. He's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I know
He
a guy.
was so
Yeah, I know a guy
nice.
who knows a guy.
Yeah, he was the nicest man ever.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Over here.
Hello, I got a two-part question. The first one is, Walter, can you talk about how you got involved in that movie, House Party? Because I liked your cameo, and did you get to hang around LeBron James?
All right, so Cal Matzik, who's the director, they called up my people and were like, yo, actually, somebody else called me and said, hey, do you want to be at a house party? It was like, okay. Just talk to my manager, let's make it happen. So we did a contract and they had me come in and they just wanted me to be me. It was a cameo. So I went in and it only took about 3 or 4 hours for me to do it, but it was funny because I was saying, well, what's the script? Send me the script. They're like, oh, we're gonna improvise. I'm like, all right, I'm an actor, I can do that. So we get there and they give me kind of a script and we read some lines and I got the actors that I'm working with and so they gave me a couple of lines. They gave me like 2 or 3 lines and we were doing it and knocking it out and then the director came to me and goes, hey, I want you to say this. And I'm like, I'm like, that's funny. That's funny. So it was interesting because I was like, well, there's a difference between Zack and Walter, and so we're 2 different people. But I didn't want to offend anybody. But I think it's
funny.
It's funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's
like
funny.
you don't really expect
Somebody
to say
sent me
it.
the clip and it was I died laughing. It was so good.
It's funny though because
you don't expect that.
as a single man, dating, it's like I go out to places and obviously. If I'm out and about, I don't necessarily want to sign autographs, take photos. I'm trying to be, incognito and just be in the moment. But if there's a really pretty girl, I'm very likely to be like, yeah, we can take a photo. And then, of course, then people see me behind that, and the guys walk up and, hey, can I get on that? Well, come on.
Yeah, it was perfect. I've seen that scene happen in real life.
The second question was, what was it?
Oh yeah, the second one, is there a reason why there's not behind the scene footage of you guys doing the ADR sessions? Because I think we're all curious to see how those sessions went.
Yeah, I don't think there was
They
ever a
never,
camera.
yeah.
There's recordings like of our voices, but
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
recording, so
naughty
That would've been-
versions.
yeah.
It's one of those things when we usually would work all day long, and it would be one day a week where they go, you gotta do ADR on this day, and so you're like, oh. And I mean, you would wash the makeup off, and you'd go over there and like spend 2 hours, 3 hours.
And we worked together.
Like,
it wasn't
yeah.
like we were all in
Yeah,
the
it was
room
so
where
separate.
it was like
Yeah, by
individual.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so every day somebody had to go and do their 2 or 3 hours, but you would do for like 5, 6 episodes. So it was a lot of ADR. And then we all got pretty good at it, where we were like, you'd get in there like, I can get it done in 30 minutes, come on! So it's actually very boring. It's not even, that interesting, but yeah, there was never cameras. So.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go over here.
Thank you for what you did in the 90s. Appreciate it. My question is, compared to back then, how it was supposed to be teenagers for the Power Rangers, how do you feel that you guys have to be the leaders again right now, 30 years from now, compared to getting into another group of teenagers?
It felt natural. It was like, I am a father. I have a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old, and so I work to mold them and inspire them in the ways that I've learned to be, So I felt like going back 30 years later to the show, and I'm working with like Min, who's actually 15. I look at my kids, I look at her, I'm like, all right, so the way I am as a father is I'm a fun dad, but when it's time to get out of business, we gotta get out of business. So, but I do it in a loving way. I have a way of teaching, So I was really happy that I was able to explore that in this new script and display it so people can see, oh yeah, well, I guess he is kind of a dad, That's cool.
Perfect.
Thank you. Let's go right here.
Yes, so in Power Rangers, your colors kind of became like archetypes, where red was the leader, blue was the smart one, step up, and captain, black being kind of the cool ranger, pink being kind of like the social athletic one. If you could be a Power Ranger in real life, would you want to play the same color, choose the color, or which color best fits your real life personality?
Well, I'm staying with black. Black would be the leader as well.
Yeah. I begged to be black. They would not let me be black. But it ended up being, I think it ended up being great.
Yeah, you do.
I thought yellow was sassy, so that's kind of me. I played myself. Just a really nice, bubbly version of myself.
I look horrible in yellow, so I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But I liked the some of the other suits. Like I loved the Gold Ranger suit in Zeo. I loved the White Ranger
Red
suit,
Ranger
the Green
suits,
Ranger
though.
suit. Yeah. So, but I liked being Green Ranger.
I wanted to be black.
I'd be in
It
the
was
Ranger brown hair.
People on the team we took for black.
It's funny because the Black Ranger costume is the one I like. When I went to New Zealand to film, when they were doing my fitting for the costumes, they put me in a Blue Ranger costume. And I was like, yeah, and I have a picture of it. I haven't posted it yet. But it looks so weird. I'm like, me in a Blue Ranger costume, you're like, no, you shouldn't.
You're in a Black Ranger all day.
That is not it.
All day.
You could have
all
been
day
red.
black.
No, red would have, I think I could have worn red or white. I mean, they would have worked well with me, but black was it. When I walked into the wardrobe room and I saw the costumes, I saw the Red Ranger costume, like, oh, that's nice. But I saw the Black Ranger costume, I said, I want that one. They were like, that's yours. I was like, yes!
Yay!
Yes!
Yeah. Oh, pink. Yeah, he would look cute in pink.
I think I'm a pink in the comic book, right?
Oh, really?
You pull that off.
It's a character that does wear pink.
Yeah.
So you're
I wear pink sometimes. It's a good color.
Yeah.
I got a small request. Can we get a line from Carla Perez? As Rita
A
Repulsa?
strong request.
As Rita, okay?
It's a request.
A line.
Time to conquer!
Over here.
My question is, what was it like walking onto set? Well, I mean, once in a way. again, to be on that set again, you know, to be there as the Ranger again? What was that feeling?
For me, I mean, it's been 28 years, y'all. Like, it was very surreal, very strange. To walk into the command center and be like, yo, this is crazy. This is like, because it's not the same. It's not the same as command center back in the day. It's upscale. And then there was a tube resort on it, or a tube resort I would be, and with a crack in it. And I'm like, that's gnarly. It's like that tells the history of what's happened since I was there. And, you know, everything being upgraded and it being, you know, Billy's kind of like office. It was like, all right, this is very cool. Being in the juice bar was like, man, there were so many stories I have from being in the juice bar. Like, we shot a lot in the juice bar. The juice bar was like our like almost every episode we ended in the juice bar like this. Right? That was the thing. I was like, this is where we ended every episode, almost there. It was like, we're giggling and laughing.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, we have been through this trauma and now we got this happy ending. So to be there again and be like, man, this is crazy, surreal. I think the thing that affected me probably most was being on the set where we were when we were looking at Trini, and it was like looking at Trini's pictures. Well, Trini, my friend, Trini, looking at her pictures, being Trini or being Walter, her friend, and playing Zack, her friend, was like, this is wow, this is crazy. Because like, you know, I am wanting her and wanting her at the same time. Yeah. So it was, you know, it was bizarre. That was very bizarre. But I was very excited to be doing it, and super excited to be back, and super excited I was able to come back to the fans, because I know 28 years you guys have not seen me, and there's been lots of Rangers that have come and gone, but you know, I started it. I was there from the very beginning. Really, truly, we are the ones that are celebrating 30 years, because we are really, truly celebrating 30 years. And although we are celebrating as a family, but the core group that was there in the very beginning is 30 years. That's 30 years for us. So to be back after 28 years was pretty amazing. And I'm so happy I was able to give that to you guys as well, because you know, you guys were there rocking us from the very beginning when the show hit 40 countries, and now we're kind of doing it again with Netflix. It's like, I think it's the top 8 globally on Netflix, which is amazing. Over 6 million views or something like that. Yeah. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yes. Hey, if with all of you guys have 3 different Ranger series afterwards, you know, you had Zero afterwards, you had Turbo, or something new. If you guys could be in a different Ranger series, all of the Ranger series that precipitated Mighty Morphin, which Ranger series would you want to be in and why?
I'm staying with Mighty Morphin, dog.
Mighty Morphin for life.
Mighty Morphin or nothing.
If you have a different series like, you know, Dino Thunder, RPM, Overdrive, you know,
yeah, I think we said it earlier. Like the reality, I mean, we didn't really.
Which you want to choose and why?
Yeah, you know, the thing is, like, I think we talked about this earlier. We didn't watch the show when we were on it, so we didn't watch it after we left. So we don't know the shows like you guys know it. So it's more about like what friends do we want to hang out with? You know? Like who do we go to dinner with every time we see them?
But here's my question: what cast would you have me with?
Exactly. You decide. You tell us.
You know the show. Where else would I fit in?
You cast us in the show.
I can see you being in Dino Thunder.
Okay.
Okay.
I can probably see Kat being in Operation Overdrive.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Nice.
And then maybe Karen probably in Wild Force.
Oh,
I can get that. I think you can go over there. That makes sense too.
Mystic Force or Wild Force.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, we need to start turning the question because we don't know. So now we'll have you guys
Turn
tell us
around.
where you see us.
Yeah,
Good
I like
catch.
that.
Good
Thank you.
thinking, Walter.
I want to be Mystic Force. I like the capes. Hey, can I be Mystic Force? Can I change?
Yes,
Thanks.
that's good. Okay, you and then you next, over here.
Hi, I just want to ask you, I mean, we grew up with you guys, you are our superheroes, and after 30 years, we still see you as our
Yes.
superheroes. So I was wondering, for the ones that are your parents, maybe, how your kids see you, and have they seen any of the shows that you've done, like as Power Rangers?
My kids don't care. They're like, what dad's a Power Ranger, whatever. I'll be on with my son and my daughter, and somebody will come over and be like, oh my God, I grew up with you, you're Power Ranger, Black Ranger, oh my God, can we take a photo? My daughter's like, give me the camera. 6 weeks, it's work time. Like, good job. She's like, but I mean, they're excited about it. I mean, they're fans, obviously, but they don't really, it's not their thing. It's like, it's like, you're my dad, that's all that matters. I'm happy you did that. I'm happy people love you, but I love you too, but for my reason, my dad.
It's so funny, my nephew who's here with me this weekend, he was like, I don't know how, you were what, 6, 7 years old? I took him to go see the live show, like we had to sneak in, because they were like, you can't let the kids see you because they think you're there, they think you're on the live show. And so he did all the stuff, and he was into it at the time, but he didn't really care, it was more about me. But my niece's son, like his sister, her son, he was the Power Ranger fan. Like, it was
Steve, right?
crazy. Oh, he was in love with Steve, and he would call me, and he'd be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. And he was like a 5-year-old. He goes, where are your friends? And I was like, at work? I don't know. Like, and so it took a while, but my niece is like, he thinks when you go back to LA that you go back to being a Power Ranger. And I'm like, what? Why didn't you tell me this? And so, so when he would say your friends, he was like talking about my Power Ranger friends, and he thought I was right. I mean, he believed everything and thought it was real. And even when they were learning to talk, they called my family calls me Ashley, but they were like Aisha, Ashley, so they called me Asha. Because it was like a mixture of the two, and like they would watch it, and I mean, it's like great, because that was the moment I saw it through their eyes, like, this is a fan. And at one point he was like being bad and like didn't want to wear socks, and I literally called Steve and was like, call him. And Steve was like, look, dude, you gotta wear socks. That's crazy, man. Why are you not wearing socks? And like, I sent him a box of socks from Steve. He wears socks to this day. And now he's like 16 years old, and he like laughs, but he still gets kind of starstruck. Like, we went to brunch one day, and I was in Dallas, and Austin joined us, and he was like, oh. But he was like so starstruck that Austin was there. I mean, he's met him, but it was just like, oh my God. So cute. Yeah. And so now I have another little niece, and she's 2. And she just watched Once and Always. And my niece says she went and got her yellow doll and was like, Ashy, call Ashy, call Ashy. And so she's like going, wait, she's a Power Ranger? So they put the show on for her now. I don't have kids, but none of them cared until those 2. And their brother and sister, they're the only 2 that really are like, oh my God.
Yeah. My kids are traitors because they watch like Ninjago and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I was like, but I'm a superhero too. I had to beg them to watch it. I was like, can you just at least watch one episode? And they were like,
you're just mom.
Okay, already stupid mom. I'm like, how is it different from the Ninja Turtles?
They're all still
But no, I have a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old, and they think it's really cool. Like Walter's kids, like your son at Once and Always, he was so proud of you.
His son is
so cute.
Yeah,
He was so
Walter's
proud
son
of his dad.
first of all, he has the same face as Walter.
He does.
So it's like
he looks exactly like him.
And he's so proud of his dad.
He
And
is.
it's like he's the best.
He's so cute.
Yeah, I can't want to say kid. He's like a young man now. But we've known him since he was a kid. But he's definitely into it.
My son, when he first saw Power Rangers, he was about 2 years old, and he was in his high chair, and it come on Fox or whatever, and I had big old TV. So I have them sit up on the TV, and our Power Rangers comes on, and Zack starts talking, and he looks at it and goes, hold up! And he looked at me and went, I don't know how you did that, but that's a good trick. I don't know how you did that. I know Austin's kids. Austin was in the Middle East, so when some of his kids were born. So, but they watched Power Rangers. His mother would play Power Rangers, and she said, "That's your dad." So for some of his kids, he became Daddy Ranger. So he got home, and he was there. It was like, my dad, the Power Ranger, So it was really exciting. So they really grew up with the Power Rangers, which is awesome.
Awesome. We'll grab one more. That's gonna be you. Make it a good one. Yeah. No, you. Yeah.
Okay, my question is, of the fans that you've met, are more fans Tommy and Kimberly relationship fans, or Tommy and Kimberly?
Controversy! Girl, don't make us pick. Don't make us have this discussion. You're supposed to end on a good note.
And then we're gonna have to do one more question after this.
They're Jason Treaty fans.
This is always a contentious thing in the fandom, and they've explored it in the comics of like the Cat and Tommy and Kimberly. It's whatever you want it to be. That's what I say. Like if you're a fan of Cat and Tommy, great. If you're a fan of Kimberly and Tommy, great. If you're a fan of Zack and Kimberly, great.
And you gotta think about this. Amy Jo decided to leave the show.
She did.
That was her choice. So she left the show, and we were blessed with Kat. And now it was like the writers had this vision and they wrote it, so it wasn't like any of us got to decide who was going to hook up. Because if it was my choice, Aisha would have had all the guys. So they didn't let me write it, and thank God I wasn't in charge. So come on, let it go, people.
That's an amazing way to end it.
Yes.
Thank you guys.